You know
Okay.
what I mean? If I can fight whoever I want at this point, I fought Bohachuk, I fought Madrimov, and I fought Lubin. A lot of those fights, people I thought I was going to lose. People thought I was going to lose to Madrimov because he gave Crawford a tough fight.
Mhm.
People thought I was going to lose to Lubin. They thought he was going to box the shit out of me. So I mean, like, I can do whatever I want. I don't care what people think. I don't care if it's Roy Jones, as great as his career was. I don't care. I don't know.
I
People
mean,
always
if
have a
you're a
lot to
kid,
say.
So when I say the Mexican fighters of today don't have no heart, the Mexican fighter is nothing compared to the Mexican fighter of the yesteryears. When I say Mexican fighters are in a bad position, when I say all the catering, all the one-ups, all the training wheels, all the franchise champions, all of this is a culmination to where you get to somebody like Virgil Ortiz. That's just facts, man. And I'll say this. One thing that I do like about Virgil, at least he ain't bullshitting you. At least he being real about it. He ain't trying to fight nobody. He don't plan on fighting nobody. And he telling you that he don't care. Versus somebody who's not fighting nobody, but trying to pretend like they trying to take on the world. That's the only credit that I can give him. But this is what I will say. It's nothing wrong with Virgil understanding his position in the politics in boxing. Meaning, Virgil can say these things because Virgil is not black. If Virgil was black and he sat up on here and he said what he said, the boxing world would have everything to say. YouTube would have everything to say. Gamers would have everything to say. And everybody in between would have something to say. But since you guys have built a bridge for everybody to duck, except the black fighter, that's the reason why the black fighter is at the top. That's the reason why the black fighter is number one. That's the reason why the black fighter is the more formidable. And that's the reason why the Latino community, and for those, I'm going to say somewhat of the American community, was left assed out. They lost Vasily Lomachenko, which wasn't even theirs. He was a foreigner. And you lost Canelo Alvarez. Okay? So that's just a reflection of what all that pussyfooting, with all that protection, with all that wrapping somebody in a wool cloth ultimately does. That's why I say, look at the pound for pound. Everybody that mainstream media told you that was pound for pound got found out. Facts. You could only hide so long in boxing. Okay? So it's one thing to look at the advantages that somebody has, but you also have to look at their disadvantage. With every advantage, there's a disadvantage. With every disadvantage, there is an advantage. And the advantage of you not getting any advantage is that you have the advantage in the ring of being the most formidable opponent in boxing. Nobody can touch you. Nobody can touch your legacy. That is the result of always taking the easy way out and always giving you the hard one. So I know it's unfair. I know it's this, but you have your advantages as well that come with people constantly trying to disadvantage you. But if Ortiz was a black American fighter, we would flame him towards no end. Because he's Latino, he can do that. And this is why I say Latin fighters today, outside of maybe a few, is straight pussies, because this is the example that they're going to follow. And more people, and if Virgil is successful like this, more people is going to want to duplicate it. Just like Canelo. Once they see Canelo's is successful like that, more people are going to want to duplicate it. Once they see it's easy for him to do PEDs and not get in trouble, more fighters are going to do PEDs. Hence Eddie Reynoso. So it's a trickle down effect. But at least he understands that, I don't care what people say about me. That's the only credit that I could give Virgil, is putting that out there, because he could be pretending 100 miles an hour. But I'm not going to lie. The way Virgil bitched up in front of the world in that ring, talk about, I wasn't talking about you. You were talking about me, blah, 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 blah. Man, the Mexican community should roast the living shit out of him. That was bitch shit, to be honest with you. That was bitch shit. And yes, Jerron did get in his grill, and he did punk his ass. He did. I ain't never seen nobody climb up in the ring and start talking about excuses and your dad said this and my dad said that. I ain't never seen that shit before. But he can do that because he has the room and he has the cultural background to do so. So once again, everybody who ever said race don't play a role in boxing, they were lying. They always knew race played a role in boxing. They just didn't want you to know because they didn't want to unearth the advantages that they had with racists being a biased and a racist ass sport. And I can't even say boxing is racist. Boxing just don't like black people. That's what I say about the world. I can't say the world is racist because most people just don't like black people. That's it. They ain't got no problem with no Koreans. They ain't got no problem with no Arabs. They ain't got no problems with no Indians. And all those other subgroups also got a problem with you. That's why I say I don't believe in racism. I just believe in anti-blackness. You know, and all that anti-blackness is because you got the goods. So once you ultimately understand that, people hate on us simply because they can't do what the fuck we do. We the only group of people that can't enjoy a sport without experiencing racism because we favor a fighter that may look like us, but it's okay for everybody else to do it. And even though we the most unbiased, the black boxing fan is the most unbiased boxing fan that there is in all of boxing. I dare one group to step up and say it ain't true. I dare you. Nobody's more open, nobody's more accepting, nobody likes more fighters than we do. Y'all the one that started the color-coded game. And when we caught up, y'all started complaining. Face it. Y'all hated the LDBC strictly because they showed unity. You didn't give a fuck about nothing else. It was the display of strength that truly bothered y'all. It wasn't they fucking opinions and all that other shit. Just a display of some type of black dominance. That's all it was. Truthfully. Because y'all put up with biases. I watch y'all. Y'all don't mind biased people. Y'all don't mind bias. Oh, but when you think of a group of black guys band together and control the narrative, now it's a fucking problem. When boxing, all this shit since the beginning has been built on is you downplaying the shit out of black fighters. You not airing our fights because of this. People dying because we win fights. You guys cheat against us. You guys done every fucking thing. But Virgil can do what he do because he understands his position. I'm not mad. It is what it is. I don't look at the world how I want to see it. I see the world for as it truly is. You know, and him understanding his position, it ain't shit wrong with that. As long as somebody like this is not claiming to be the best, as long as he not claiming to be Billy Badass, as long as he not say, oh, I'm all about legacy and all that other shit, he can do shit like that. If you call yourself a bitch, how am I going to call you a bitch? You know? But then again, I've always said, if we treat everybody the same, nobody can hide. But you guys don't want to do that. And then that's why we get what we get. That's why we're dominant and everybody else is weak. Because we're never afforded the luxury of getting by for the day. We're never afforded the luxury of benefit of the doubt. Franchise champion was never made for no type of black man. With that being said, now you see why you kick ass. On top of what's just God-given. Like, comment, subscribe. Bruce Vane, I'm out.